If you missed out on the flower sprinkles with the launch of Meghan Markle's brand as ever, or Meghan Duchess of Sussex, same. But as a trademark attorney, what really caught my attention was the trademark issues that she's been having since her move away from the royal family. And she's had rejection, she's had rebrands, and the process hasn't been that smooth. And it's a great example and case study of issues that so many business owners face in the trademark registration process. And this is a Meghan Duchess of Sussex Stan account. So if you have any problems with that, go ahead and click out of this video. Now, before As Ever came into the picture, Meghan had originally filed a trademark under the name American Riviera Orchard, and it got rejected for a few reasons. First, there were issues with how the products were categorized, and the descriptions were not good. Second, the phrase American Riviera is considered a geographic location according to the USPTO. And so technically it is a nickname for Santa Barbara. And the USPTO does not like when your brand name just describes a location because it's not unique. So even though it sounded great, legally it was a problem. So a lesson and takeaway is if your brand name includes a city, a state, or a popular location, be prepared for trademark pushback. You'll probably need to prove that it's not just descriptive. So then she decides to pivot after the rejection, and American Riviera Orchard becomes As Ever. But then another issue pops up. There is already another Chinese fashion brand called As Ever, like one word. And the USPTO issued a partial refusal because the names were really similar. Even though the spelling was different, because As Ever was two words for Meghan's brand and again one word for the Chinese brand, they sound really similar, and that's all it takes. So the lesson from here, and I've said this in past videos, just because something looks different doesn't mean that it's going to be legally distinct. If it sounds the same or could confuse consumers, it's going to be a problem. And this is why checking with the USPTO database, not just Google or Instagram, is an important step when trying to trademark your name with the USPTO. And then on top of that, Meghan's legal team missed a pretty basic step, which is signing the application. Honestly, I didn't even know you could submit the application without signing it. And that meant it was considered unverified, and that kind of mistake delays the entire process and can affect your filing priorities. So the takeaway here is even celebrities mess up the admin side. So if you're applying for yourself or working with an attorney, double check that everything's filled out, signed, and submitted properly. So with my clients, I always make sure to send the application over to them so that they can review, approve, and sign it. And then after that, I go ahead and submit it to the USPTO. And there are a couple of other minor issues in the application, like the description of goods and services needed to be clarified. And also there was like a misclassification of goods and services. So some of the goods that she had listed should have been in another class. So they had to take them out and put them in another class. But those are just minor issues that are easily resolvable. It just may delay your application a little bit. And another point that I want to discuss is that just because you register your business name as an LLC, that doesn't mean you actually own the name. Trademarks give you protection on a national level within your industry. And so your LLC might get approved by your state, but if someone else already has the trademark registered with the USPTO, you could still run into problems or be forced to rebrand. And I talk all about that in my last video on what to do if your trademark has been taken. So the takeaway is if you're building a brand, especially one that you want to build, scale, get the trademark handled early. Don't just rely on your LLC registration. What are some steps that you need to take to avoid this altogether? First, search the USPTO database before committing to a name and avoid names that are purely geographical or overly descriptive. If a name's already taken, don't just change the spelling, make it distinct. And make sure that everything is filled out on your paperwork properly. A missing signature can cost you time. And if you're really unsure, always hire a lawyer, get legal support. There are people out there, aka me, that do this all the time for a living. And this isn't just about Meghan Markle. It's about how even with her money, her influence, and her legal team, trademark issues still happen. And as a small business owner who probably doesn't have all of those type of funds and support, you want to make sure that you are not wasting your money on an application that's going to get rejected. And so the earlier in the process that you are, the better it is to check all of your branding and trademarks and logos and slogans before you commit. So let me know in the comments if you've ever run into an issue with your trademark, and make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel for more legal and business tips.